Thank you very much for being on the programme. So just explain to us, what is the very latest when it comes to the Chagos Islands?
Well, we've secured a deal which protects the crucial base on Diego Garcia well into the next century. And it's a deal that we've agreed with Mauritius. It's the negotiations between the UK and Mauritius, but also importantly one that's been supported across the United States security apparatus. It's absolutely right that we are giving some time for the new US administration to look at the details, and they're being fully briefed on those. But fundamentally, this is a deal that secures our national security and that of our allies into the next century.
Can you just explain something to me? So it's reported that you're giving sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, but you're also giving them £9 billion. What is that money for?
Well, there's been a whole bunch of speculation around the finances,
yeah, that's why
a lot of which I don't recognise.
OK, so how much money are we giving them then?
Well, the details will be provided in due course of the deal. We said that we'll provide those details with Parliament in due course. We obviously don't normally, as a routine, comment on the costs of our bases overseas, and you'll understand that for national security
But just to be clear,
reasons.
the money is to pay for the base.
So the money is a crucial part of the arrangements, and those arrangements haven't changed. There's been no change
is the money
in that.
to pay for the base? Is that what that money's for?
So
because if you get my point, people might be like, hang on a minute, we're giving them land and we're paying them for the privilege. What's going on?
We pay for basing arrangements around the world, and there are important costs on those. And we're clear as a government that we won't scrimp on our national security. And this base is crucially important to the defence of the United Kingdom and the USA, and indeed to the security of our allies' security in the Indo-Pacific. We inherited an unsustainable situation.
Is the money for the base?
Well, we inherited.
It's really straightforward.
No, absolutely. We inherited. Yeah, we pay for basing all around the world, and we inherited an unsustainable situation for the base from the previous administration. They entered into negotiations, which they were right to do so. Went through 11 rounds of them over 2 years. They seem to have forgotten this, and we're very, very clear that we wanted to conclude this deal to secure the base into the future for our national security. Camille Badnott doesn't seem to have been briefed on this, and we're very, very clear that this is the right deal.
The money's for the base. It's not for compensation. It's nothing like that. The money is just for the base.
The money is part of the arrangements around this. It's part of the deal. We'll set out those details in due course. Well, it is a clear answer. We pay for basing all around the world. It's crucial for our national. It's crucial for our national security.
Is this money for the base?
So we pay for basing around the world. It's absolutely clear. We will provide the details of the deal in due course. We're not going to provide, obviously, a running commentary on all the discussions that are going on at the moment, but the quantum hasn't changed. The substance of the deal hasn't changed, and this is a deal that's good for Britain's national security and good for the security of our allies.
You talked there about the security of the allies, and you mentioned there that you're keeping the Americans fully appraised. So my question to you, because I'm just trying to get to the bottom of all this, right? There's been lots of reports that Donald Trump hates the deal, that he's going to stop it, but nothing from him directly on it. So what does Donald Trump think about this?
Well, we're clear that the United States should have time to look at the detail of this. That's an ongoing process. I'm not going to give a running commentary on it. But what we are clear is that the different security concerns, which have been rightly talked about in the media and in Parliament and elsewhere, are addressed by the detail which we're providing in full to our allies in the United States. Now, I think the important thing is that this deal was supported across the United States security apparatus. This wasn't just at a political level. This is the professionals in defence and security who are responsible for our security and the security of the United States. There are important provisions, for example, on preventing hostile forces being in the outer islands, and those are all the matters that are being discussed at this very moment.
It's a nice answer, but it's to a completely different question. What does Donald Trump think about this?
Well, I don't comment on the detail of individual conversations.
It's quite a big deal, isn't it?
But it wouldn't be. You'd understand it wouldn't be right for me to comment on the detail of the discussions. We're having important and productive conversations, not only with President Trump, but also with the United States Department of State and the Department of Defence and others. And those discussions are ongoing.
Are you prepared to give Donald Trump a veto over this deal?
We've been very, very clear. It was right to give the United States new administration a chance to look at this. There's been no rush into this. It's important they have a chance to digest the full detail. They're being provided that full detail. I'm not going to give a running commentary on that discussion.
Does he get vetoed?
It's important the United States.
You can see it is quite frustrating. So I'm asking some quite clear things.
It's very important that the United States absolutely is comfortable with this arrangement. That's why we're providing them with the information that they need. Absolutely right that people have got questions. That information had obviously been agreed with the national state's security apparatus under the previous administration. Only right that the new administration gets a chance to look at that. Those discussions are ongoing, but I'm not going to give a running commentary on them.
Now, I did want to talk to you as well about what Donald Trump said last night about the Middle East. He firstly said that the US will take over the Gaza Strip and will do a job with it too. We'll own it. We'll then take it into the Riviera, turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East, and he talked about Palestinian people permanently leaving Gaza. He said, I don't think people should be going back to Gaza, and that Palestinians should go to other countries with humanitarian hearts. What's your response to those comments?
Well, look, I think if anybody looks at the scenes that we've seen of destruction and damage in Gaza over the last months, they're appalling, and I think you can only be moved by the scenes of Palestinians returning over recent days. We've all seen those scenes on our screens of women and men and children returning to, pretty appalling scenes, and, pay tribute to what President Trump has done in terms of securing that ceasefire and also, crucially, the release of the hostages. It's what we've been calling for since day one of our government, and we've been working assiduously for day and night to achieve. We're very, very clear that we want to see a two-state solution. We want to see a long-term political settlement for a secure and sovereign Palestine alongside a secure and sovereign Israel. We're going to continue to work for that, and we're providing new aid for those Palestinians, 17 million just last week.
Donald Trump has said that the US will take over the Gaza Strip and that Palestinians should not go back. Will you condemn those comments?
Well, we're very, very clear that we're very, very clear that Palestinians should be able to return home. We're giving aid to that effect. We want to see the humanitarian needs.
Will you condemn what Donald Trump said?
We want to see Palestinians return home. We want to see the humanitarian needs met. I'm here to set out the position of our government, which is for a two-state solution. We're going to continue to work with regional partners and indeed global partners in that regard. And, I'm not going to comment on every single comment that's made. We're very clear about our position. We're very, very clear about the scenes we've seen in recent days, and we're going to continue to support the massive humanitarian needs that we see when we see the destruction that's been faced in Gaza.
If you scrub Donald Trump's name from that statement and you didn't know who said it, you would condemn those words. If Kim Jong-un said it, you'd condemn it. If Vladimir Putin said it, you would condemn it. If Hamas said it, you would condemn it. What does Donald Trump have to say for the British government to condemn him, or can he say anything?
I'm very, very clear about our position on this. We've been clear about the aid that we're going to provide. We've been clear about the humanitarian support that we're going to provide. We're very clear about what we want to see in terms of a two-state solution. We're going to continue to work with regional and international partners in that regard, and we want to see Palestinians be able to return. We've seen those very, very moving scenes over recent days, and we now need to ensure that those people get the support that they need. And as I said, I pay tribute to the work that's gone on in securing that ceasefire and, of course, the release of the hostages, which has been crucially important. We now need to move through the phases of that process. The Foreign Secretary set out today in Kiev when he was asked about this, and we need to get to that long-term settlement. So we're going to continue working for that. That's what the Prime Minister, Foreign Secretary, Development Minister and others have been doing, and we're going to continue to do it with partners in the region and globally.
OK, thank you very much.
Thank you.